I've been letting the game run for like maybe 10 minutes or so, and we had a bunch of traffic here from all the work we did last time with this new area. And traffic was kind of backed up for a bit, and I figured it's all because of people moving in for the first time, and I'm glad I was correct and we didn't have to do any massive infrastructure work yet. Our population's about 4,300 people, which is pretty good for the start, I think. My goal is to get to about 7,500 today, hopefully, by continuing to expand our main city here and then seeing kind of what happens from there. Now, we have a lot of demand for residential, commercial, and industrial is beginning to go up. I did raise taxes ever so slightly, I'll show you here, just till about 10 and 11% respectively, 10% for residential, commercial, 11% for commercial and office space, and I thought that was a fair balance for now, at least to give us a little bit of a bump in our economy. We're making about $3,000 now, we're making about $5,500 per hour, and that seems to be climbing very, very well, and wealth is still at a +1, so people are still relatively happy. So let's just kind of start building out this area how we did last time, and I want to do some more work here. We might not get to making everything nice and pretty because I'm limited on time like usual when I record, so I'll do my absolute best and we'll see kind of how it goes. So thank you so much for joining me. My name is Caesar. Welcome back to City Skylines 2 and of course to Pacific Rise County. Happy to see you guys. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I think I already said that, but I'm just like mumbling back and forth because my mind's kind of everywhere. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you haven't already, and that'll help out a ton. So what I want to start doing with is just kind of continuing what our work that we've already started here. Now we have plenty of kind of area already kind of pre-gridded out for the most part. I guess we have to do a little bit of work to kind of make it make sense by the end of it. But we're going to kind of just follow the plan here and what we have here. So what we have here is low residential housing. So the way I want to kind of structure this is I want to get some medium density housing. I say about, is 5 units deep possible? It is. So we'll go 5 unit deep apartments, let that fill up completely. Hopefully we can get another one that's just a little bit bigger there. And I think it'll look really nice if we can do that. Now I really want to save this front end for high density housing and not so much low rent housing, because low rent housing doesn't really make sense to have in a nicer area like right here on the waterfront. So that doesn't really make sense to me. So we have a little bit of low rent housing here on the front. This will definitely get removed and upgraded into high density housing because it'll be some higher quality apartments, if I do say so, right? So I think that's going to be okay to do long term, but well, this is okay short term. We'll upgrade it long term, and I think it'll be a good move. So for now, what we're going to do is just kind of start saving space for those buildings. So right here, I'm going to leave completely blank. However, I want to get a little bit of parking. And if we don't deal with parking early, we're going to run into the issue that I always run into, and I never have enough parking in my cities, and it's just always chaotic. So I'm thinking about getting a multi-level parking structure. Now, I know this seems kind of chaotic, but our population density is only going to go up here, and there's going to be skyscrapers kind of in this area a lot, right? So we need to have good parking facilities in order to facilitate that. So I think having a little bit of a parking structure, maybe even in this area right here, just off of this alleyway, kind of off of this busy street, I think it would be a good kind of thing there. But now I'm kind of curious because there's a lot of traffic coming off of this main road. Maybe it wouldn't be the best to put on that main road. So what if we grab a little bit of road, right? Grab a 2-lane road and then we start moving this around. Like what if we have to continue this grid, right? It's the only way this is going to continue. So someone left a good tip in the comments. I appreciate it. I read all the comments. Even if I don't respond, I'm reading them before I record every video, I promise. Unless I record multiple videos, in that case I'll tell you guys, but for the most part I record. I read the comments, right? So I don't really, someone said to take off all the snap twos and it should be a little bit easier to upgrade all the roads and stuff like that. I don't really see, well, I guess you can choose exactly where you want things to be, right? So I guess that is a very good tip. Thank you. Okay, something like that I think would work. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll pull this out as much as we can to make sure we save the space there. And we'll do the same thing about there. And can we get this to snap just like that? Ooh, that's not what I wanted at all. Let's go ahead and demolish that and then get this road to move exactly where we want it to be. So I think we'll just do a straight connection like this. Ooh, we might have to just go straight out like that. It's 180 degrees, which means it's completely straight, which is really, really good. Like that, and we get that nice even side to it. Now I know all the roads are a little bit we're getting dirt instead of like the key walls there. So what I'll do is I'll just go back through and rebuild all these roads. I won't make you guys watch that because that's going to be kind of annoying to watch. So once I finish this here, for you guys it's going to be 2 seconds. For me it's going to be a few minutes. So see you guys in a couple seconds. So what we're going to do is just start stacking up some apartments, and we need to get some of the... Where are the North American ones? Am I blind here? Why is everything like UK and stuff? How do I get... There we go. North American stuff. North American density. Again, these are just regular apartments, and then these will eventually upgrade into larger skyscrapers as we go. And that'll be completely fine. We'll do 3 deep on these, completely fine like that. I think that'll be okay. And we'll keep the same kind of vibe going all the way through here. Then maybe we can do a little bit of a shopping center. I wouldn't mind that at all. We'll do North American low density business there. And whatever builds there, we'll just let build. And that's completely fine with me. We need businesses in this area. There's going to be a lot of population here. So just having a little bit of shopping amenity there, I think is going to be fantastic. Not going to be perfect, but I think we shouldn't let, what does Phil say over in City Planet Plays? What does he say? Don't let perfect be the enemy of good or something like that. I mean, I don't even know if you could classify this as good, but it's functional. I guess that's the way to classify it. Now what I want to do is start kind of getting a little bit of a path here. So what if I turn off snapping? We'll replace this with high density commercial later on. Same with anything we have over here, just like that, just to make it so the whole area will grow as time goes by. And I think you guys can see that. I think it'll be okay. So we're getting some high density demand, and the only high density demand we have is the low rent stuff. So I think getting some lower rent neighborhood, like a lower rent neighborhood, would kind of make a little bit more sense for that than just kind of shoving it all in one area. Now, I don't want to call this area lower rent, but I kind of like the vibe of this being a lower rent neighborhood. Now, I'm not against calling, I guess, what do you call it, a mulligan? Is that what it would be? Or eminent domain, where like we're taking your land to build more housing for more people? Maybe that'd be eminent domain. I don't know. I don't know these terminologies. I just watch City Planner Plays and just hope I'm learning at least a little bit every video. I think this is going to be too big. I think we'll just go by 3, just like that. And then we'll just take out 2 like that. That'll be okay. So these are going to be like the tallest buildings in the area. You can kind of see how it kind of climbs up, and then it climbs right back down to low residential. And I kind of like that vibe. I like that vibe of like this smooth transition between the different types of buildings and not just small residential to just massive skyscraper next door, you know? I think this is a good move. Now, I want to get a little bit of a park here. I think this would be a fantastic place for a park. Maybe something a little bit bigger than that, because that's a little bit too small. Some of these are a little too small. Maybe a small playground would be a nice amenity for this neighborhood. What if we plug this in? Do something like this, okay? We'll do something like that. And then what I will do is I will go into the alleyways. That's not an alleyway. We need to go up here and grab an alley. Let's turn on my snap twos a little bit there. It'll make my life a little bit easier with what I'm doing here. Get an alleyway going there. We'll go into our road services and we'll turn off this light because there's no need for that light to be there. And then just like right here, I want to get some parking. I know there's some small parking lots and things like that that I can maybe squeeze in here. Look at this. A nice small gravel parking lot probably feels really nice there. We'll probably just put it across. What does the medium one look like? If I do a medium one, that one goes this direction. So I guess something like this maybe. That would look all right, but I kind of like the side-to-side one. I think that feels a little bit better. So we'll put this as far over as we can, and that'll be okay. Just a little bit of parking here. Gonna go super cheap, but I think it's gonna be... You know what? This feels a little too cheap. I feel bad doing that. Let's not do that. I know it's a waste of money, but I didn't realize it was gonna be dirt. All right, a wide... No, that's a little too big. A small... Okay. This could be okay. Just like that. That's funny. Okay. Is there anything else I can squeeze in on this side? Maybe a little bit more parking with a tiny parking lot just right in here. Just like that. Evens it out nicely. And that kind of leave rooms for those couple of trees that are already in there. I think that'll look fantastic by the time it all forms up with these buildings and stuff. So I think this is a good move. Maybe a little unpopular, maybe, I don't know. That's what we're gonna do. Let's get a nice, what are these called? A nice gazebo. I don't know why I'm bringing one blank with these. Where's the gate? Gate's right there in the middle. We'll put it a little bit sideways like this. Just like that. And then we can just grab a couple of trees and hopefully just kind of blend this in a little bit nicely. We'll do a nice wild green berry there, bush there. One next to it. We'll shove an apple tree right behind it because it's not too big, but it's not too small. And it kind of helps cover up that side. We'll do a couple more green bushes on either end just to kind of fill this area in and make it feel like a little bit of an escape. I think that's going to be a really good vibe. So I'm completely okay with that. Now, I want to grab our lindens because that's what we do. Right, on this channel, we use lindens everywhere, and we don't apologize for it. even if it's too many lindens, we're gonna use lindens, okay? Lindens are just my favorite tree in City Skylines. They have been since City Skylines 1, and of course that's carried over into City Skylines 2, and I'm never gonna apologize for that. Couple of bushes sprinkled in between. We'll get a nice pine on each side, and maybe a hickory or two. Like that. And I think that alone brings it together. We'll do a hickory there, and then maybe a couple of pines like that, just to add a kind of like that darkness to it. And I think it like blends it in a little bit easier with the building there. But I like this. Doesn't have to be anything extreme, but I think it just builds in the area a little bit more. It makes it feel a little bit more homey and less, you know, plopped down by a crazy person like me. All right, I was looking at some of the props here, but I can't seem to find them. Is it landscaping where you find like all the benches and stuff like that? It is. It definitely is. It's got a couple of benches in here. A little bit of a playground. There's already a couple benches there, actually. There's no need there for that. Okay, probably a good bet idea. We'll get a trash can. We'll put a trash can here at the door. We'll get one at the gazebo. We'll just put that inside right in there. Make sure there's nice and availability. And can we get a bench in there? It's not perfect, but it's a bench. We'll move the trash can so it's not like in the gazebo. And there we go. Now we have a nice little bench in a gazebo. And I think that just looks really, really good. Has a nice view of the playground. Covered up here so they can't really see the parking lot too much. And then I think that covers it very, very well. Now this parking will get used over time. We're going to go ahead and just turn off the parking fee on all of our parking lots as usual. And make sure people can just park here without having to worry about having to pay for anything. Now, this should start being used over time. I know it takes a minute for like the traffic and stuff like that to like reroute itself, but I don't think it'll be too long. Now these buildings look fantastic. I think they blend in very well with like the current style of building that's already here. And I think it's really good. There's already 48 people. Yeah, there's plenty of units there for people to move into. And I think it's really good that we did that. Okay, back to our medium residential area over here. You can see this is already building in quite nicely, and I'm very, very happy about that. We don't have any zoning available there. So what we'll do is just go into our parks, and we'll grab one of our small parks here. Maybe a modern rocket park. Get it to face this way. Maybe not one. We already have a couple of those. What if we get... I guess we don't have these. We have the canopy covered ones, right? So what if we use one of these? And then we can go into our move it, and we can grab it and just move it over like this. And then move that over a little bit like that. And just like that, we got a beautiful park in this area. Brings that area nice and smoothly together. And just for this area here, a couple of trees. There we have it. Just like that, nice and covered in trees. We could even drag a couple of these lindens through here, finish it all together, and I think it just brings in the area light a lot better. And I think this just looks really, really fabulous. There we have it. Okay, I think temporarily what we'll do, because we don't have our urban promenade mixed housings. What are these? Apartment buildings with commercial space on the bottom and apartments on top, each building a rooftop terrace and urban promenade. That's pretty sick. Okay, let's try something here, okay? If you guys like it, we'll keep it. If you hate it, we'll probably keep it anyway, because I'll forget to go back and change it anyway. But do something like this. Get to all my zoning there. Now, if I go back in here, can I get rid of this and my zoning is still here? It is. Okay. So now I can do the urban promenades. What if I just zone that? And I get rid of this? and then I just zone in that, and I let this build. Can we get something cool here? Let's destroy that one and make sure it grows to the right place. This takes care of like the medium residential and commercial all in one go. That's actually really, really nice. Now we got to worry about parking. Again, I'm not worrying about parking, and I got to stop forgetting about parking. What if we get another one of these lots just right behind the building here? Something like this. Right? Get a little bit of parking there. We got a small alleyway just sneaking into this area. Just completely sneaking. Just like that. And we can even run it all the way to the very end there. Make sure there's no lights on either end. That's completely fine. Provides a little bit of parking, and I think it's going to be a very, very good thing to have for this area. You might even be able to sneak in a bit more parking in there. What if we try to sneak in some more parking? What if we go like this? What if we sneak that in? See, that, okay, that's not going to work because they're overlapping. So can I just drag over? Just like that. That works. Okay. We'll merge those two spots like that. So it looks really, really nice. Okay. And then what we'll do, we'll just grab a couple of trees and we'll just put this stuff down super easily like that. A couple of trees over here. One of those. Some wild green bushes kind of clustered together because that kind of makes sense to me. One of those, and a nice pine tree like that. Not a pine tree, a spruce tree. Excuse me. And then, of course, to bring it all together, we'll get some nice lindens, and we'll just drag a line of lindens going all the way through here like that. And I think that'll be really nice. And while there's no buildings here, what we can easily do is just grab a nice path. Sorry, Linden, you're going to have to move out of the way there because it's going to bother me if it's not even. We'll put a nice crosswalk in front since there's no intersection there. That'll be okay. We make sure there's a crosswalk here. Just like that, maybe? That looks really jank. Let's back that up a little bit. Okay, crosswalk is there. And now all we have to do is go in to move it and just slightly move that tree over. Just like that, and that's really, really good. And now for, of course, over here, we just get a little bit more of the vegetables. I guess I shouldn't say vegetables, like, What am I trying to say here? Vegetation. That's a good word. Let's use that word instead of vegetables or whatever I called it. Right, that's one tree. Oh, those are a little too big for the area. We'll go a couple of birch on either side. Squeeze in a couple of apple trees because it fills in the area nicely and it provides a lot of shade cover as you're going through there, which I think is always very, very good. If you walk anywhere open, you definitely want some shade. Plus, it's good for your health if you stay in the shade and wear some sunscreen, things like that, so. All right, just sprinkle in a couple of these bushes like that. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, just enough to bring it some life, I guess a little bit is what I'm looking for here. Just like that. And then we'll just grab a nice large oak to put right there. And maybe even, maybe a couple of birch trees here too. And that'll be good to go. Like that, that, and why not a nice spruce over here? Easy does it. That'll build up nicely. And I want to see how this looks like. And now we have parking here, which means hopefully people will use this parking. Make parking completely free so people use it. Hopefully, please. Please. I think we have to give it a second. There's no businesses built up here yet, so there's probably nobody using it. I want to go over to our parking lot here and see if it's being utilized yet. Looks like we're starting to get some utilization in. We have 3 cars in. Looks like traffic has finally started to route itself through here. People are walking back to where they're supposed to, and that's working very nicely. Now, this might be excessive parking for the area, but I think as we develop more neighborhoods across the street, they could even utilize this parking lot, and I think it'll be completely fine. Which, I guess what we could do is put in maybe like a corner store in here or something, right? Something like that. Just small. Something super small. Hopefully that builds up. I actually don't know if that's going to build up or not. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. We'll treat it like that, and that'll be okay. We're starting to have a major need for jobs again. We have a lot of traffic coming in because our population is absolutely just pumping. And I think it's really, really good. I don't want to expand too hard, too high, too much. English is hard until this clears out. And it will clear out. It always does. It's the initial burst of traffic that's just coming through. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to sit here and watch this traffic for a couple minutes and just see if it clears out, okay? So bear with me. We'll be right back. Alrighty, look at that. We let the game run about 10 minutes or so, and it seems to have cleared about all the traffic. We have just a little bit left here. This is continuing to clear itself out, and that's just going to be kind of heavier traffic. I don't mind heavy traffic as long as it doesn't get completely backed up to the highways again, and that's where it gets kind of really bad. Population is still kind of stabilizing around 5,700, which is really, really nice. Still making about $5,340, which is very, very good. And we can take a look at our urban promenade here. Look how outstanding this area looks now. I think this might be a good thing to just keep, because this just looks awesome. This building's a little bit out of place, but I don't mind it. I'm being honest. I like how it gives it a little bit of character, maybe. It'd be nice if it was flat, because it kind of makes sense here. What if we use move it? Okay. Are we good on the backside? No, we're solid. I actually like how that area turned out a lot, and I like how this neighborhood turned out too. Lots of housing availability. We have a ton of housing here, which is really, really good. And now I want to take a look at a bit of our industrial demand. Now that industrial demand hasn't gone up significantly yet. With our population continuing to rise and businesses being built all over the place, it's going to be necessary. Now, what is wrong with this place? Facility is full. Okay, we need to expand our graveyard. Just like that. We'll get 2 nice expansions now, and we have room for another 100 bodies, which is going to be outstanding to at least get going for now. We'll see how it goes. Now, parking lot's completely full back here, which means that was a very, very good move. I didn't check behind the promenade. Look at that. Parking lots are getting full. This one's starting to get some utilization, which means these parking lots were a very good need. I think we did a really good thing there. Now, this feels kind of empty, and I don't really know what I could do to fill this area up, because it feels kind of just blank, right? Because of the gap. Oh, we have mail service to take care of now. Well, that's fun. You know what? We'll put it into our city services area, which I saw a comment about turning this area right here where I have my city services into a bit of a city park. And I kind of like the idea, but like we don't really have the money to do that right now. So I just bought a post office, which I probably should have waited, but I did it anyway. How much was that building anyway? $75,000. I guess that wasn't all of our money. It's completely fine. We're making a ton of money anyway. Yeah, it's completely fine. Seems like this amount's going down though. Why is that going down? What if we bring everything down to 10%? Make sure everybody's nice and happy. We're getting our demands up and going again. Money's down a little bit, but I think it should start stabilizing itself. Now, I know this area is a mess, and I completely hate it too, and there's traffic jamming everywhere here because of the heavy industrial stuff, but it's just... I really don't have the space to move it until we get over here, until we get way over here. Once we move this, then it's fine, you know, but for now, it's just... We're kind of stuck in a weird place. Is there pools here? That's an interesting place. Never seen something like that before. That's kind of interesting, at least. All right. Looks like traffic has stabilized at least a little bit. I think what might end up happening is we might have to just let the city run for a bit, make some cash so we can continue building here. But we have a lot of traffic, and it's going to be more and more chaotic because the industrial and the main city are using the same entrance to the highway. And I don't think that's going to be good long term. So what if we make somebody mad there, remove that, and do something very controversial? What if we get a 2-lane road here? What if we get a nice dirt road and just connect it to the highway? Now, I know this is frowned upon by anybody that deals with traffic, but I think just having a little bit of a slip lane to just get out of the area if you need to, even get in like this, it'll just clear up a little bit of this congestion, I guess, right? Clear some of that up and hopefully get traffic moving at least a little bit faster. There we go. See, now we got some traffic coming through here. They're flowing in on this side, and hopefully they can just get out over here wherever they need to, and hopefully this will just clear out this traffic. I know this is not a permanent solution, and I don't mean on it, and it's not going to be, but it's just, I need it to work for now. One thing I did want to take a look at, though, is if we go into here and we go into our production chains, we're not producing enough food at all. 5.7 tons of food is being imported every single month, and that is a ton of money that we're having to pay for out of pocket, and long term that gets pretty expensive. So I wanted to take a look at a bit of our natural resources. Now we have a little bit of space over here, but here's where I have all my industry stuff, and that's not going to be good. I can't really have farms producing food where all the pollution is. Actually, this way might be farmland at this point, because there's no way I'm putting industrial stuff right? There's no way I'm putting industry here when this is like a lot of our farmland. I guess farmland can go way the heck over here once we get over there, and that'll be completely okay, but we got to keep ice. We have okay. I guess I said we can't have a farm near pollution, but we have literally just farms across from factories. So I guess it's not the end of the world. We're not really following our own rule here. So if we're not following our own rule, okay, let's get some vegetables in. We need some vegetables. We're back up to making about $2,600 per hour, and I think it's a very solid position there. Now that traffic has calmed down a little bit, it's time to expand a little bit more into this area before we call it a day. By the time we're done here, we're going to have this area just till about to here completely zoned out, and it's going to look fantastic, and then hopefully the whole world doesn't stop turning because of this mess. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. Now, we need a bit of a connection here. I think something like this just kind of works amazingly. I love the kind of zigzaggy roads everywhere. Gives it a little bit of character, and it makes me just a little bit happier. Now, what can we do for this area without making it a giant square? Now, we have no zoning on this side for some reason. I think it's because that the whole thing turned into a key wall. So if we go with something like that, maybe we might be able to get zoning back over here. It turned into a bridge again. Okay, so let's go boom, boom, boom. Okay. And then we'll go like that, and now we get zoning, which is exactly what we wanted. Goodbye to the bridge. I'm okay with it. I already got rid of it, so there's no point of taking it back. I guess I could draw another one in here, right here, maybe. I don't know. Just no, I'm not gonna do that. It's okay. And I think what we'll just do is we'll just keep this as easy as possible. Now, we need some parking. We gotta remember the parking, right? I just did a bunch of hand motions when I said that for some reason, and it's completely okay, I guess. I think what we'll do a straight road here like this. Now we got to get this to work correctly, because this is trying to form a bridge, and I don't want a bridge there. Now I want a couple of office buildings. I want this to be a little bit of an office district for some towers with office, massive skyscrapers with office buildings. Okay. So I think the way we're going to get this to work right now, I want these offices to face the highway, the water over here. Okay. I want them to face that way. So if I go with something like this, this forces the zoning over there, and I can zone some low density offices right there. Pause the game to make sure nothing happens. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Make sure we zone in the rest of this like that, and that'll be okay. Couple of offices there. We'll go about till there with offices, and we'll go till there with offices. And then we can even squeeze in a little bit of commercial maybe there. That'll be fantastic. And then right here across the street, I want to do some parking. Now, we don't really have a parking structure. So I think what we might have to do for now is just get a nice parking lot, like an actual flat parking lot. I don't want to, is there a large parking lot? We can't afford it. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Medium parking might have to do the trick for now. And we can deal with it later, because we really need parking there. We can't just not have parking. So I think that's going to be fantastic to do. And then just across the street here, we can even squeeze in a couple of more shops, and I think it'll be really nice. Now, what do these Japanese low density kind of shops look like? Let's do a couple on each side of this parking structure and just see how this looks. Traffic is getting kind of crazy again because we have a lot of businesses moving in and stuff like that, but I think it'll be okay. Special population is still going up. We're almost at 6,500 people, which is very fantastic. Yeah, traffic is getting to be a nightmare. I think what we'll end up doing is we'll let the game run for a while in between episodes and try to make a little bit of cash back to at least support a lot of our projects here, because these are getting very expensive, and that's not okay. I guess it's okay long term, but for now we just can't afford it, which is, I guess, the important part there. And I think we have to just kind of be careful with that so we don't go bankrupt again. Well, not again. Go bankrupt in general. We're going to get rid of zoning there. We're going to get rid of zoning here. Like that. Can Can we get rid of this zoning too? This looks really jank. What is causing, what? Okay, that was there. Let's go like this. Get rid of that. Gives a little bit of zoning there. If we get rid of this, is that going to be okay? Completely fine there. And then we'll do just a little bit more path work on this side. Like that. And I think that'll be fantastic. I'm actually very happy with how this episode's turning out. Some of you might not be, but I am. That's what matters. Now, we're going to go with some more apartment stuff, okay? And I think we'll just roll. Maybe we'll do some like French stuff. I don't know. We'll just stick with the North American for now. Okay, North American for now. We'll see what happens from there. Now, this is going to be some crazy zoning stuff that we got to take care of, but not having the funds to do this is kind of sketchy. And also, we're going to be adding a ton of traffic to the front of this, to this frontage road here, which was bound to happen anyway. And I saw it coming from the long term, so I'm just going to do that anyway. And then we'll figure out what to do from there. That'll be okay. Yeah. And then just right here again, I want to do the urban promenade stuff again, just like that, because it looks really, really nice here. That'll be sick. Those don't really fit the area, if I'm being honest. They kind of look kind of weird. So we're going to remove those and then just do a couple of offices to the side. Just like that. Make it feel like a little bit of an office park with some shopping amenities to kind of enjoy there. That'll be okay. Now, that's all we're going to do for now. We're going to let this run because there's going to be a ton of traffic moving into the area. And I want to make sure this highway stuff can support it. I think what we'll do... maybe we'll go 4 deep here. That way this is all even. I know there's low rent housing need, but I just don't want to do low rent housing. I know it's necessary, okay? But I just don't like putting it down because it just looks very dated. I guess that's a good way to put it. We can do some low rent stuff for now and we can just cycle this stuff out, you know? But for now, we'll do just 1 row of low rent housing and that'll be okay. I really like how this is turning out. Actually, I like this view right here. Oh, another tornado. Last time we had a tornado, it meant the end of the episode, so our entire town didn't burn down, but I think this time we'll keep rolling a little bit longer. All right, so I'm gonna let this run and see how this stuff looks when it's done. Let me know what you guys think. If we upgrade this, we upgrade it. If we don't, we don't. I'm okay with whatever. Just got to figure out a solution that's going to work for traffic. Now, we expect heavy traffic whenever we do massive expansions the way we just did. And we have more buildings popping in right now. So it's going to be more about waiting. So what we'll do, we're going to go through and just do some landscaping. And we'll let everything kind of manage itself while we go through that. So let's do some landscaping. I don't know what inspiration came from this, but it kind of looks like a guy holding his arm sitting there, and I thought it looked kind of cool and kind of funny. So it kind of looks like Homer from The Simpsons, if you've seen the show. Obviously, you probably know who Homer is, right? But I thought it looked pretty cool, and I think the area turned out actually pretty nicely. And but one thing that's not turning out nicely is our traffic. It's actually getting pretty backed up. We've been running, I mean, that took me about 15 minutes, or probably 10 minutes. And although it looks nice, now we're having a major issue where we have a bunch of traffic. Now, how can we mitigate this traffic? I think a lot of this is going to be due to public transportation or the lack of public transportation. I think we might have an episode of public transportation coming out soon, or maybe even an episode where we expand kind of our highway system to get a little bit more connections here. Or what we can do is just kind of buy a extra connection here and build a little bit of an intersection here, but it'd be kind of difficult because of this area. Give me some brainstorming ideas. Let me know what you guys think on how we should resolve this issue. Maybe a mixture of both highways and public transportation. Just keep in mind, I am horrible when it comes to highway and road design, so just keep that in mind. If you want me to do that, it'll be chaos. We should get some trash services going in the city too, but I can't be bothered for now. I've run out of time, and unfortunately it's time for me to go. So of course I'm going to end the episode with just a brief city tour, just a flyover, and until next time, I'll say bye-bye.